Hello, hello. Welcome back to this series of videos on A Course in Miracles. And thank you to all of you who are watching via the YouTube channel for Enlightened World Network, where these videos once appeared. Well, in fact, for the better part of this year, 2021, they appeared as a live stream on the network. So thank you all for tuning in wherever you got this link from. I really appreciate the fact that you're here. And my aim in these videos is to simply turn the camera and microphone on and teach and share with you my experience with this extraordinary material, this extraordinary self-study curriculum that is A Course in Miracles. It's been the foundational centerpiece of my own spiritual practice since 2013. And my background, by the way, is quite varied. It's quite varied. I was raised in a couple of different, rather fundamentalist Christian traditions. I've also studied Tibetan Buddhism and shamanism and have been interested in world spirituality my entire life. Long story short, in 2013, the Course found me, not the other way around, of course, right? Yeah, the Course found me, and it has been the centerpiece for me. It really has been the system, the thought system, which is what it is, that has put everything together in a way that, to me, makes the most sense. Now, part of the beauty of this is that, well, A Course in Miracles is not going to be the go-to for everyone. And if this is something that you do not wish to adopt as your sole practice, you can, if you want to, you certainly may. But if you want to use this material to augment your current path, your current tradition, your current spiritual practice, whatever that is, you're more than welcome to do so. And there are a number of testimonials, a number of stories and case studies, if you prefer that term, for people who have kept their traditional religious or spiritual practice and used the material from A Course in Miracles to enhance their understanding, to deepen their commitment, and to strengthen their own walk, so to speak. All of it perfectly legitimate, and wherever you fall on that spectrum is exactly where you're meant to fall on it. So it's all beautiful, and I thank you very much for your interest and for your spiritual practice. That more than anything else, truly. So we're on lesson 212 in the workbook for students in this particular video, and we're in the midst of a review period. Lessons 201 through 220 review ideas that we've covered previously. Yes, we need review as adult learners, which it sounds obvious, doesn't it? But we truly do. We need review as adult learners because it helps us to see things in a slightly different light. You're a different person if you've been going through this numerically, that whenever you're watching this video, it's very true that you're a very different person than you were 20 or 30 days ago when you first encountered these ideas, or maybe it was 7 or 8 years ago, or maybe you're just popping in because this is the most recent link. Tomorrow it won't be on the YouTube channel. Yeah. Whatever the case is, this is something that you'll benefit from. Now, in this review period, we're starting with contemplation of the central theme, the idea, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Again, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I'm going to leave that one right there and invite you to do the same. If you'd like some more explanation of this, I'm dropping some explanation, some commentary into these videos during this review period. And again, if you're looking at the workbook for students, numerically, it's lessons 201 through 220, this particular period of review. We sit with the idea that we're not what we appear to be. Deep down, we all realize this. We recognize and remember this. This is why we're drawn to spirituality in the first place. Because we know deep down that there's more to life than simply the drudgery of cyclic existence, the suffering inherent therein. This is when we identify with the ego. And there's more to life than simply checking your email, going through the motions of a job that you don't like. I mean, maybe you love your job or career, and I hope that you do. I certainly love mine, and I hope that you may do the same. But it's common enough that we spin our wheels, and at some point we begin to ask questions, if you've not already, and I know you have because you're watching me, that we begin to wonder if there's something else out there, if there's something more to it, if we're meant for something more than simply eating, sleeping, paying the rent. Eat, sleep, pay the rent. Do a dance out of that. And it may or may not be funny. We realize that, yes, there's more to what we call life than it appears on the surface. You are not a body. Neither am I a body. None of us is. So the review lesson following the contemplation of the theme today is a review of lesson 192, which is I have a function that God would have me fill. I have a function that God would have me fill. Quick summary, that here in the world is forgiveness, a function, your function, my function, our function that God would have us fill. Notice it's not checking your email. It's not having 5 million followers on Instagram. However, if you're not following me on IG, I invite you to do that. I had to throw that in there. It's not that. It's not looking cool. It's not having a hot, sexy bod and a hot, sexy partner that people look at and say, wow, oh my God. It's not that. We have a function here in the world, and with this thought system of A Course in Miracles, it's very clear that forgiveness is that function. I'd like to draw your attention to the short italicized commentary here in the workbook. It's very deep, it's very profound. I'll read it verbatim and then give some comments here. Now you can find this lesson 212 in the workbook if you own a physical copy of A Course in Miracles. There it is. This material is readily available online. So this is my opportunity to say there's no excuse for saying I can't find it. Of course you can. It's right here. It's all searchable. So the italicized words read, I seek the function that would set me free from all the vain illusions of the world, like checking email, for example. I seek the function that would set me free from all the vain illusions of the world. Forgiveness is that function. How does it set us free? It corrects our perception. Rather than perceiving ourselves as separate with separate interests, we see ourselves as one. And rather than seeing people as attacking us, we see their behavior, whatever that may be, whatever form that may take, as a call for love. We have either the choice to extend love or not in the present moment. The appropriate response, of course, to a call for love is to give love, to extend love. This is choosing God. This is choosing the ego. This is accomplished by forgiveness every time we choose forgiveness. Continuing with the italicized commentary here. Only the function God has given me can offer freedom. Okay, only the function God has given me can offer freedom. Let's break this one down. Forgiveness can offer you freedom. How? It corrects your perception. Rather than seeing everyone as separate and attacking you or opposed to you or out to get you in some way, you see them as yourself. This offers us freedom. What would you give yourself? Love or hatred? Yeah. Continuing with the italicized, is a third and final italicized sentence here. Only this I seek, and only this will I accept as mine. We're invited in the course to seek the peace of God, to want the peace of God, and only that. And only that. What we realize on the spiritual path, and it's not always an easy lesson to learn. We may experience a lot of resistance to this, is that you can't keep both the ego and God. The choice that we have in the present moment is between one or the other, and it is all or nothing. One choice is real, the other's not. It's not. We can't keep some of these unreal elements to ourselves and hide them and hang on to them and cherish them and hoard them. We can't love everybody but our political enemy. It doesn't work. It's all or nothing. Love is totally inclusive. It's not separate. It does not exclude. It does not subdivide. The ego subdivides into political parties, into genders, even into species, into nation states. Every single categorization that exists is a product of the ego mind. It is the product of our attachment to, our belief in, and therefore our sight of the ego, the world of separation. Now, there's some depth to all this, isn't there? There are a lot of metaphysics, deep spiritual concepts going on here. They're resoundingly simple. In the present moment, we have one choice: God or the ego, love or fear, them, reality or illusion. The more we choose reality, the more we experience reality. Yeah. If you studied any form of manifestation or the law of attraction, this will make perfect sense to you. The more we choose reality, the more we experience reality. The more we choose love, the more we experience love. The more we are love, we realize that we are love. The more we extend it, the more we receive it, yes, to give is to receive. The more we choose illusion, on the other hand, the more screwed up we are. The more buried in our psychodrama we become. The more anxious, yes, the more depressed, the more combative. The list goes on and on. It's a choice that we make in the present moment, which incidentally, is the only moment that exists. Now, we can very easily agree that the past is gone. We can very easily agree also that the future is not here. So when we choose fear in the present moment, we're spending time in the future worrying about what may or may not come to pass, or we're beating ourselves sick to a pulp and suffering over something that is in the past, that is gone. When are we doing all this? Right now, in the present moment. It's the only moment that exists. So why is this important? Well, I hope that you feel that it's important to you that you awaken. Now, if you're on lesson 212 of the workbook for students, clearly it is. Now, there's no harm in reaffirming our commitment. There's no harm ever in reaffirming our commitment to the peace of God, to love. That can be done right now in the present moment. And every time we choose love, anytime we reach for the light, we're doing that. And quite literally, it's moment to moment. Now, if you're wondering, okay, well, how am I going to do this? Because I won't always remember. Of course you won't. Of course you won't. Just when you do, choose love. It's like a living, walking, breathing meditation. Our lives are quite like that. There's an object of meditation, love, God, truth, right? Reality, yourself with a capital S, whatever you want to call it. Think of that as the object of meditation, such as your breath or a mantra or sound or something for, or the voice of the instructor in a guided meditation. Yeah, think of love, awakening, truth, your union with God as the object of meditation. When you become distracted, simply bring your awareness without judgment, if you can, yeah, back to the object of meditation. And the very fact that you're doing it means you're doing it right. You're not doing this wrong. We're not sinners. We're not evil. We're capable of some dastardly shit here in the world, but we're not sinners. We're not inherently evil. We are as God created us. You are not a body. You are free, for you are still as God created you. I invite you, as always, to sit with that and to contemplate it, because it's a very powerful and a very profound idea. If that's all you do today, then think about that. Just recite it even once. And I invite you to see if you feel any differently. Yeah. All right, so that is it for lesson 212. Again, we're reviewing several ideas here in the workbook. Now, the review period lasts through lesson 220. Don't skip ahead, okay? And Jesus says, start from the start, but because none of it's going to make sense, right? None of it's going to make sense if you pop in and read lesson 75 without having read the first 74. That, yeah, it's really not going to get the same effect. It's not going to do it for you in the way that it would if you had gone through lessons 1 through 74. And a reminder, of course, for those who want to read in bulk, like this is a novel. It's not a novel. One lesson a day. Yeah, one lesson a day. This is cumulative, and one builds on another. The idea is one reads the material for a lesson and then practices that. The workbook, as you know, has suggestions for practice. So stay with it for one day, and you can then move on to the next if you choose. Some people, and I've done this many times myself, have so resonated with an idea that we wanted to sit with it again for a second day, a third day, or more. Or if it's something that confuses you the first day, you may wish to revisit that for a second day and see if you come through the process with a different understanding. Yeah. There is nothing that says that you must breeze through this in 365 days. People weed themselves out thinking that they have to do it. And therefore, if you skip a day, which also happens, then people think they're doing it wrong. Well, you're not doing it wrong. I invite you to have some patience with yourself. We need to have patience for ourselves, do we not? We need to have some grace for ourselves. We need to give ourselves a little slack, yeah, a little bit of grace and a little leeway, because we will not do everything perfectly and to the letter. It's not the objective, by the way, to do everything perfectly and to the letter. You know, the first time that I went through the workbook for students, this was several years ago, I have developed a habit of meditation and journaling with coffee first thing in the morning. And I've been doing that for years. And this has been part of my practice. I would read the idea the first time I went through for the day, read the commentary, do a short practice period on that. And then if the idea called for repeating the practice period during the day, there were many days where I completely forgot until I was going to bed, or actually in bed and ready to fall asleep that night. Oh, I didn't do all those practice periods. And well, that's an opportunity for you to forgive yourself. That for me was an opportunity for me to forgive myself and to either attempt it again tomorrow or simply to move on to the next lesson. And it is something that happens. So whatever is occurring for you, it's an opportunity for you to forgive yourself. No, some people find it real easy. You may be one of these, to forgive other people and to give them some grace, but not yourself. No, you must also give yourself some grace. How do you overcome that if it's a challenge for you? Well, practice. One moment at a time. That's all we've got. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back here again tomorrow. And thank you so much for all of your comments and subscriptions to this channel. I invite that. This is great material that I offer for all of you because it's needed. It's needed in the world, isn't it? And it is a great joy and an honor for me to be here sharing with you. So thank you, as always, for tuning in, and I'll see you again soon.